there, it's Kristen again with ministrytochildren.com. You might notice today that I'm in my sports gear fan attire. That's because we're going to be talking about what it means to be a loyal fan and a follower, and what that means when we're talking about being a follower of Jesus. Now, I happen to live in a college town in the South. Football is a very big deal. Where you are, sports might not be as celebrated or as much of an issue. So you could always cater this to the individual needs and the best purposes of your group. Maybe it's a concert series or a music group or a songwriter, or maybe it's an actor, or maybe it's another kind of sports team, or whatever is most popular with your kids or with the group that you're approaching. Obviously, you can do this however you like to do, but here's an example of how you might demonstrate the rabid fandom that sometimes happens when we get into things and get really excited about them. Good morning, kids! Are you ready? Do you know it's almost time for the dogs to play? Yes, that's right. The University of Georgia is coming back, and this is the year. This is the year we make it happen. This is the year that we not only go to those championships, but we win and we take home that trophy. So I want to see you ready. I want to see you in your garb, with your flags, with your pom-poms, with your red, ready to cheer them on, ready to shout sick 'em, ready to have your cup held high in the air with water, going, yay, go, Georgia Bulldogs, woo! I want to see those bumper stickers. I want to see these banners held high, and I want you to know about your team. Do you know? These are the guys that are going to make it happen. And that coach right there is going to bring them to glory and victory. I want you to be ready at all game and every game. And you know what? This important document is a schedule. This tells you when the dogs play, who they play, and whether it's home or away. It's going to tell you how far you have to drive. Maybe it's Alabama. Maybe it's Ohio. Maybe it's Kentucky. But I want you to be ready to go to any lengths to cheer on those dogs. And this will also tell you the teams that we're playing against. Right here, don't wear blue that week. Don't wear orange this week. You know what? Best to play it safe. August through November, just wear red. Always wear red, because red is the color of the dog. So if you're ready to be a true, loyal fan and follower, you better be wearing those red outfits at all times. Now, a couple of weeks to note. The weeks that we do not have games, those are called bye weeks. That's when you want to schedule your weddings, your birthday parties, your major surgeries, your births, only on the bye weeks, because the rest of the weeks you've got to be ready to follow those dogs. And I want to see you knowing those stats. You better be ready to quote which player did what and what quarterback did the best job that week. And I want you to know what our rankings are, and who's talking and what they're talking about, and who snapped and who fought and who ran. And are you ready? Are you ready to do whatever it takes to get blisters on your throat to cheer those dogs? Well, it might seem a little strange to be that excited about a sports team. You know, sometimes we get excited about things. Sometimes it's a sports team. Sometimes it might be your favorite band or singer, or maybe it's an actor that you watch on TV and really enjoy. When you get into something, you might do a lot to be able to follow them. Maybe you look up their Instagram or their Twitter account. Maybe you know what they've been in, or what they've been singing, or what they've been doing. Maybe you even know a little bit about their lives and their background and their bios. Well, when you're a fan, you're ready to do whatever it takes to keep up to date with those things. But what about being a follower of Jesus? Does he have an Instagram account? Does he have a Twitter? How do we follow Jesus? And how can we show that we are that excited about him that we're going to do whatever it takes to follow him? You know, the gospel lesson today talked about following Jesus and talked about what it means and what it takes for us to be real, true followers. Jesus was saying some pretty intense things. In fact, he said, you have to be prepared to leave behind everything to follow me. You have to be ready to leave even your family, things that you love, things that you enjoy doing. Now, those things might not be bad things, but if anything gets in the way of us following and loving and serving God, you have to be willing to let it go. You have to make that the number one priority. Well, how do we do that? How do we know what Jesus tells us? How do we make sure we're following him? Well, it's great to know about Jesus. It's good to know about his life. It's awesome if we know about the things that he did and the things that he taught while he was on earth, and if we know some statistics about him. But that's not as important as really, truly following him, praying every day. When you talk to God and tell him your heart and ask for his directions, that can give you some wisdom and insights. Reading the Bible, that's where the words of Jesus are. That's what can let you know what he said and what he told us to do. So if you're a true follower of Jesus, it means not only that you know about him, you know him, and that you know what he wants you to do, and that you follow those directions, that you trust the Bible and you do what it tells you to do, and that you're willing to sometimes do things that are hard, and sometimes let go of things that you might love and things that you might want to do in order to truly follow him and make him the number one thing in your life. It's not always easy, but God promises that it will be worth it, because when we follow Jesus, he will always lead us to the path back to him and back to heaven. He will always lead us to the path that best serves God, serves one another, and really ends up in ultimate blessing for our lives too. So will you say a prayer with me, and we can thank God for that and ask him to help us to really follow him. Dear God, thank you for the words of the Bible. Thank you for your love. We love you, God. Please help us to love you better. Help us to follow you. Help us to know what you say and to follow your instructions. Thank you for Jesus. In his name, amen. So, go make some followers.